Hi, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com. And just to give you a very quick heads up and roundup in terms of coming to the end of another month. So what we're going to be talking about in this video, we've got an overview of Hoonah, H-U-N-A. That's all the Ho'oponopono and Hoonah symbol stuff. We're going to be talking to you about the Raising the Money Vibration, which is a new online program. And the Hoonah is an online program as well, or an in-person workshop. We've also got the photo reading dates coming up, and also the Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest, which is in December. So photo reading is in May, Hoonah is in May and April, and MBS in December. So just to give you a quick heads up, because I know sometimes people go, oh, I missed a deal, I didn't see it. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of what will be happening. So one of the first things that's coming up, and the reason we're doing this video, is the launch prices and the early booking prices end this month. So first one is the Hoonah Workshop. You can either do that as an in-person workshop, as in you can be in the room, and that is taking place on the 11th of May. There's also a video webinar workshop, which means you can join us live from anywhere in the world, no matter where you live. And if you can't make the date, we're going live on the 13th of April. If you can't make the date, there will be a replay recording. So that's how you can take part in the photo reading. What I'm also going to do is be very organized. And as we talk about these, I will drop the links into the comments thread, and later on, once the video is done, I'll also put them into the description of the video as well. But the first link is the hoonahintro.eventbrite.com. So that's now in the conversation chat link. So that's the first one, and the early booking prices for that end this month, aka tomorrow. Next one, let's have a look at. Next, we've got one that I'm really looking forward to, actually, which is kind of the Raising the Money Vibration. This is a new online program that I'm running. It's going to be a 10-part series. We're going to be starting mid to late April. And I'm not quite sure yet exactly how long it's going to run for. It's going to partly depend on the people who are joining us live and how they want to split the days for that. But this one's been really interesting, because one of the things that happened with it, when I launched it, somebody said, sent me an email. She said, did you Hoonah the program before we started? And then she explained that she thought about joining up on the Tuesday. She signed up on the Wednesday morning, went for an interview, and got offered a much better job that's paying a lot more money. So she's like, oh my God, the program's working already. And I thought, oh, that's really cool, you know, bit of fun. Then I got another message from a client, an email, saying your money vibration program is working already. I think she sent that 2 days after she signed up. And what had happened for her is a revenue stream that had completely disappeared suddenly opened up again. I thought, oh, that's really interesting. Then I was speaking to a client this week, and we were doing a Hoonah session. And he said to me, did you Hoonah the program before we started? And I said, it's so funny you should say that. 2 people have asked me already, and yes, I did. I Hoonah'd it before I launched it, and I did some Hoonah of the weekend, where I then, you know, properly put it out and put it in my e-newsletter list and that sort of thing. And I said, yes, why did you ask? And he says, well, I was thinking about signing up, and then when I signed up, I've got this new contract which will run into maybe 3 figures, and once it all comes off later on in this year. And so now I'm like, that is so cool. One person asking me, fine, and none of these people know each other. One of them, or 2 of them asked me by email, one of them asked me on the phone, and none of them knew about the other. And so that is very cool. And what makes me smile about this one is my intention for this program is that regardless of whether you're in right from the beginning, you might miss a module or 2, and people might even be catching up with regards to doing the sessions at their leisure. My intention for this one is the energy, of course, it's called Raising Your Money Vibration. So my intention for this one is that the energy of what we're doing is going to carry into the recordings, it's going to carry into the video, and it's going to carry into the exercises. And my intention when I was sat at home Hoonahing before we started, because I didn't even know who was going to join when I was doing the Hoonah, the intention was that for everyone who signs up, they will receive what they need in a way that's right for them, and the program will start working straight away. And so for 3 people to have now had that experience, I've got to check with the others, I just haven't checked with everyone, but now 3 people have independently said, did you Hoonah the program before we started? I'm going to start checking with people and seeing what, you know, what they've noticed, because that was the intention that I set for the program. So that is really cool. The way, and I'm probably going to do a quick Q&A about this one as well, because I've had questions in from the e-newsletter I sent out yesterday. But in a nutshell, it's going to be a mix of a video webinar, audio teleseminar, and MP3 downloads. It's going to be 10 parts. If you actually I've just dropped the link in for the page if you wanted to book. I will also add the link, the very long link, to the Eventbrite page. Now, the Eventbrite page lists everything that we are going to be covering. Let me drop that in there. So that lists everything we're going to be covering. We're going to be kind of looking at it from a number of different perspectives. But the key thing is about kind of changing the vibration, changing the relationship, and all of that sort of stuff. Maybe, you know, depending on the group, doing some stuff with regards to past lives, looking at your ancestry, looking at your genealogy, looking at limiting beliefs, looking at the emotions that you have, looking at the money relationship. So it's going to be a whole raft of things, doing some stuff with the soul plan, doing some stuff with the future self. So there's a lot in that one, hence it's over 10 parts, but I can't tell you yet exactly what some of the dates, because we've got people from America, Australia, the UK and Europe, and so just to be fair to people as well, I am going to vary the timings so that we're not doing everything in the UK time zone, so that we're not massively inconvenient for the people in Australia, and so that we're also compatible with the people in America. So for the person who is asking about, can I send the schedule of when we're going to do the webinars, the answer to that in a nutshell is no. But that one, if you wanted to join us, it's www.bit.ly/money vibration. So that's the page where you can book. I have put the very long Eventbrite link in as well. My suggestion, if you book by Eventbrite, you have to pay the Eventbrite fee. But if you book on the bit.ly page, it's just pay whatever it is at the moment. And those, I'm not going to say the prices because they're changing tomorrow. And so this is just to give you a little bit of a heads up in terms of what's coming if you wanted to get the launch prices and early booking prices. So that is that. We also have coming up, well, no, actually, what's coming up is the end of the first tier early booking price. And this is for the Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest workshop. This one takes place in, sounds a long way away now, but it takes place in December, and that always comes really fast. So if you would like to join us for this one, I don't know if you can read what's on the screen there, but somebody says, how would you rate the speakers and sessions? Well, they say excellent and awesome. Would you recommend it to others? Yes. Exclamation mark. And how would you describe it? Deep, transformational, different, enlightening and uplifting. And so with regards to the MBS, we always, I mean, this is going to be, oh God, what we are now. Oh, I think we're going to be year number 10 or year number 11, something like that. And having, you know, run into people over the years who came, somebody who came to the very first one I ran back in 2000 and what was it? Oh, 2000 and something. It's about 9 or 10 years ago. I really can't even remember now, there've been so many. But he wanted to be mortgage free. I ran into him year before last. He's mortgage free. One of the people who came to the first one wanted to go and live and work and teach in Saudi, never been there, didn't have any qualifications to do it. 6 months later she's teaching and working in Saudi. Ultimate goal was to move to America to be with her children. She hails from the United Kingdom. She's been living in America probably coming up to 2 years now. She's with her children. And I don't, in terms of what you can see on the screen, when we ran it last year, I was going around in the beginning just saying, you know, why are you here? What do you want to get from this session and from this weekend? And the thing you can say here, one of the first people who'd been the year before said, I couldn't ask for anything more. All of my hopes have been blown out of the water. So more of the same. I've had the best year. And that happened to us in the very, it's got goosebumps, that happened to us in the very second year. Because I opened up the work, ran it the first year just on a whim, because I thought, I think I need this for myself. And if I'm in this place, I'm sure other people are. So that's how it started. ran it a second year because we've said, oh, you're running another one, really love to come. I was like, okay. So I ran a second one. I'm in the front of the room and I'm saying to people, you know, why are you here? What would you like to get from the weekend? First person who spoke was there the first year. And he said, everything I worked on came true. I'm here for more of the same. He was a barrister and head of chambers in London. The second person, who was also there last year, said, I was also here last year. Everything I worked on and created at the workshop came true. So I'm here for more of the same. I then went to the next person and said, well, you know, why are you here? What would you like to get out of the day? He then said, I was here last year as well, and everything I worked, and at this point I'm like, oh my God, because I've not corresponded with them. There were a couple of people who did the Power of Three program afterwards, so I knew about them, you know, manifesting the, you know, one guy came and he really struggled with relationships for as long as I'd known him. And so one of his aims and goals and outcomes when he did the Power of Three program, which is a coaching afterwards, was to be in a wonderful relationship and meet what he felt like was the love of his life. He came back to the workshop the second year as my guest, and he brought his girlfriend with him. And just as we'd kind of played with it in the timeline is how they met. And that was really wonderful. So he then stood up and did a talk for the group about the strategies and, you know, the clearing and all that sort of stuff. That was really fantastic. So we've had lots of those really, really wonderful stories. I remember somebody else who came. She only came the once. And she is now doing the thing that we had talked about actually probably a couple of years before in a breakthrough session. That's now what her life is. And so we've had some really interesting unfoldings for that. So let me, I'll grab the link for that as well. MBS, that is MBS, as in Mind, Body, Spirit, MBS energyfest.eventbrite.com. So the next tier early booking prices, because we run it in December, I change the prices each quarter. So if you wanted to come along to that one at the current early booking price, I've just put the link in for that as well. And then we also have one of the staples, another one of the staples is the photo reading workshop. And so the next photo reading workshop, in terms of if you wanted to live, because there is now a video webinar version as well, the 20% off early booking price for that is also ending this month. And so if you would like to join us for that, the link is secretofphotoreading.eventbrite.com. So I will also drop that into the conversation thread. There you go. And this quote always makes me smile, because this was for a guy who's very techie. He's in IT, software development, all that sort of stuff. And he was just so matter of fact. He went, you know, on the Sundays, like, this is the best personal development course I've ever attended, hands down, and then just walked out the room. So and I don't think people expect it to be as deep and as life-changing as it is, because many people come with the thought and the premise and the idea that they just want to learn to read faster, and what they don't realize is about the enhancements in their creativity, their critical thinking skills, their decision-making skills, their level of calm, letting go of stress, you know, all of that sort of stuff, deepening their intuition, having a better universal connection, accessing you know, memory, and all of that sort of stuff. People don't really have an appreciation of that, because that's not how the course is built. And when I ran it a couple of weeks ago, the group said again, Marilyn, really, the name for the workshop is not correct, because it doesn't even begin to convey to you what photo reading is. And I've been thinking that for many, many years. I've been a photo reader. I did my instructor training in March 2002. So gosh, this month is 17. God, it's 17 years, isn't it? Crikey. So this month is 17 years. And I've been thinking that about the photo reading workshop for probably 12 or 13 years now. And people are always saying the name doesn't do it justice in terms of what it delivers and how much it changes people's lives. So the early booking price for that one is expiring as well. So if there is anything you would like to do, if you'd like to join us for the Hoonah video webinar workshop for people who came in a bit later, that's one that you can take part anywhere in the world from home. It very much sort of operates like a Facebook Live, but it's in a closed environment in terms of using my video webinar platform. So if you can't make the date, which is the 13th of April, you can join us via the replay. The in-person version of the Hoonah Workshop is on the 11th of May. The Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest is the first weekend in December, and the photo reading workshop is the 31st of May to the 2nd of June. In terms of that, and that's an in-person workshop, but there is also now the full version certification training. You can do it via video webinar as well, so that's 22 hours of solid content. So if you want to do that, I'll drop the link into there later as well. So yeah, that's it. But just to give you the heads up, and also the Raising the Money Vibration, which is going to be starting in a couple of weeks' time. And that's an online training as well, so you can take part from anywhere in the world, and it's going to be a combination of delivery mechanisms for that. And it's just working on all facets, covering all areas. So I've got the 28-day e-coaching program, which I'd say is more pragmatic and logical and analytical, and sort of like strategy based. And this one is really now coming in, I guess if you think of it like the yin and the yang, this is coming in from the more spiritual, esoteric, energetic side of things as well, because when you feel bad about the premise and the concept, you know, there are times when no amount of reasoning and logic is going to help. So that's why we're doing it that way. So I haven't got a date I can give you for that one in terms of when each of the 10 parts will run, but that will be an unfolding in collaboration with the group who are joining us live. And then of course, if you're coming in and watching the replay, it will just be there for you. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, if you have any queries, drop me an email, Marilyn, MARILYN @transformationstm.com, and that's TRANCE as in hypnotic trance, formations, FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark. So Marilyn @transformationstm.com. If you wanted to drop me an email, if you've got any questions or queries before these prices and deals expire. You can also, of course, send me a DM on Facebook, although probably not looking at those till Monday. Same with the email, actually. And I've put the links in the conversation thread, and I will also add them to the description of the video. And the main website is the same, transformationstm.com, and you can also see the spelling of that on the screen. And if you know anyone who'd be interested in the Hoonah, the Raising the Money Vibration, Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest, or the photo reading, please feel free to share this video, send them the link. If they don't mind being tagged, feel free to tag them in this, but I know sometimes people don't like being tagged in stuff, but they don't mind you sending them a link. So feel free to do that. Spread the word, because that's the only way I can continue to do what I do, if people are talking about it and sharing it. So really appreciate that. Wishing you all a wonderful rest of the weekend, wherever you are in the world. And I very much look forward to working with those of you who are going to be joining me for one or all of those programs. So thank you also for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye bye.